13 ABC's Jack Bassett live with a look at today's graduation. Jack?
Yeah, Christina, students and teaching staff say it took countless hours of hard work to get to where they're at, but they will soon serve the healthcare field across the state. Diane, an eyewitness is speaking out after what he saw take place right here at this busy intersection on Wednesday night. According to the witness and a TPD police report, 2 cars were racing through the street. One of the region's most massive construction projects isn't happening here on the ground, but instead, progress is being made on what's above. According to police, Rachel was a passenger on a motorcycle. That motorcycle was then involved in an accident where the driver fled the scene, leaving Rachel behind. As early as 8 a.m. this morning, concerned Bowling Green parents lined the space behind me in front of Bowling Green High School, demanding to see their kids back in the classroom. The sights and sounds of seagulls will soon be replaced with boats and water enthusiasts, and the city of Rossford says that this space right here is one of the best assets they have to offer. The cause of the fire is still unknown at this time and is currently under investigation. And TPS is still currently operating on a remote hybrid learning option. They're hoping as more families get vaccinated, they can soon return to the classroom full time. Reporting live, Jack Bassett, 13 ABC, Action News. Here at the University of Findlay, Hancock County hosted its first mass vaccine clinic right here, and Governor DeWine was here to speak to those who received their vaccines, and he's praising the hard work of individuals who made this event happen. Here on campus at the IU Luddy School of Informatics, students are making tech out of trash? Lee and Diane, usually on a snow day, you can find middle school boys inside playing video games or outside having snowball fights. But today, these Delta boys are working hard. Here in Bloomington at the historic Starlight Drive-In, it's one of the last remaining drive-ins in the region, in the state, and even across the country. Lee and Diane, business has been good for construction crews and home renovation businesses across the region. They say it's one good thing that has come out of the pandemic. I want to introduce you to a woman who embodies the true definition of an American hero. Meet Kelsey Collard. Kelsey's a soldier, a mentor, and a fighter. She served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan and Kuwait, but her courage extends far beyond the battlefield. Over 200 former Maumee High School students are joining forces, demanding the school district provide a balanced curriculum when it comes to teaching politics.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Still. Still shots fired. Is that a suspect shot or an officer shot? Suspect. Suspect's been shot.
We begin tonight with breaking new details on an officer-involved shooting that happened here in Toledo. Police say this suspect is in the hospital after exchanging gunfire with officers outside of his apartment building on Secor. 13 ABC's Jack Bassett is live tonight from the scene with the very latest on what we know. Jack?
Christina, after more than 8 hours of investigating evidence linked to the shooting, Toledo police have now cleared the scene. But this is what we know so far. At around 8:30 this morning, 2 people living here at the apartment complex called 911 to report a man screaming in the parking lot. Toledo police say 3 officers arrived on the scene, and that's when police say the suspect came to the entrance of the building with a gun in his hand. The officers tried to de-escalate the situation and ordered the man to drop the gun. That's when police say the man opened fire on the police. One officer fired back as the suspect went inside the apartment building, started shooting again, and then ran out the back entrance. Police say the man then continued shooting at officers, and the same officer once again returned fire, hitting the suspect. The suspect, whose name has not been released, was taken into custody and is currently hospitalized with 2 gunshot wounds. None of the officers were hit.
The bullets that the suspect fired at the officer did strike the police car, but not the police officer. He was able to return fire, and the only person that struck at this time is the suspect.
Officers also found the suspect's child inside the apartment unharmed. The child has since been released to the mother. Toledo police say the officer who fired the weapon is under investigation and placed on leave per TPD standard protocol. TPD plans on releasing audio tapes of the 911 calls and body camera footage of Toledo police officers on Monday. We will keep you updated with more information as we get it. Reporting live, Jack Bassett, 13 ABC, Action News.
In a letter delivered to IU alongside dozens of other college institutions, the Department of Education issuing a direct warning followed the Trump administration's interpretation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which protects U.S. citizens from being excluded from any program or activity that receives federal financial assistance on the basis of race, color, or religion. If not followed, you'll face federal repercussions.
Unfortunately, there is an uptick of anti-Semitism around the country, including at Indiana University. Students being intimidated, students being harassed.
Rabbi Kunin of IU Shabbat says Jewish students have faced anti-Semitism, both on campus and in the classroom, making this federal investigation both necessary and warranted.
I feel like it's a very good opportunity and moment for IU as a whole to see what systems they have in place and anything more that they could do to protect the Jewish students.
The Indiana Daily Student reports the Department of Education's investigation stems from a complaint filed by the conservative media group known as Campus Reform, in response to last spring's pro-Palestine protest in Dunn Meadow.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
That demonstration drew a heavy police presence, including a sniper on a nearby rooftop, and escalated into a tense standoff between pro-Palestine and pro-Israel supporters.
Supporters of Israel and Israel's apartheid and genocide very often use anti-Semitism as a weapon against the people who are voicing legitimate criticism of Israel.
Protester Bryce Green, who took part in the demonstration, says criticizing Israel's policies is not anti-Semitism. Instead, he argues the movement is about holding IU accountable.
By framing criticism of Israel as anti-Semitic, the federal government, in support of Israel's genocide, is trying to get students, faculty, and staff, and all IU community members to stop criticizing Israel. But the fact is, Israel's committing genocide, and it's incumbent on anyone of humanity and conscience to speak out against that.
What's at stake in this federal investigation? Federal funding. Columbia University, one of the 60 schools under the Trump administration's anti-Semitism probe, has already seen over $400 million in grants and contracts stripped away due to their pro-Palestine protest on campus.
Those in attendance recalled Officer Stalker not only as a hero on the police force, but a hero in his own community, serving as a friend, father, and a son. An emotional day for so many. A grief-stricken crowd stood by Officer Brandon Stalker's fiancée, daughter, and mom.
I loved him very much. He was very loved. It's overwhelming. It's very hard.
Those in attendance held signs and waved flags in remembrance of the fallen officer. Honks and heartfelt hugs were sent out to those hurting most.
It's definitely been hard. It's unreal still. It's hit me, but it hasn't hit me, if that makes sense.
Lynn Allison says Brandon was her best friend. She believes his untimely death shows the dangerous situations law enforcement officers encounter each and every day.
When you're shooting at officers, like, you're taking someone's family away from them. We just got to stick together and come together as a group and make sure all of our officers get home safe at the end of shift.
Members of TPD joined today's rally. Chief of Police George Krall consoled loved ones and offered up the entire fleet of the force to be there for them during this difficult time.
We're going to help them get through this tragedy, and they're stuck with 620 new brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles, so we're going to do what we can to help them through.
Even those who were strangers to Brandon came out. They showed appreciation for the heroic life he lived and offered their sympathies to those he lived for.
Big thing I want to say is thank you, everybody, for being with us. You know, like I said, it was a tragedy. Let it rust, let us rust.
Right here in Greene County, just 30 minutes away from Bloomington, the Hatton family were preparing for a normal school night. But that's when their lives changed completely, all in an instant.
The best way I can explain it was, like, literally, you feel like you're grieving a death.
Their home of over a decade, gone. On January 26th, a heater used to thaw frozen pipes ignited loose wiring and insulation. Thick smoke and flames consumed the house in just seconds. Inside, Jessica and her 3 children.
There is no time. You may think about things you're going to grab, but the smoke takes over, you can't see, you can't breathe, and it's hot. And your number one focus is get my kids and my animals.
Firefighters arrived just 7 minutes after the 911 call. But it was too late. The house was destroyed. I walked through the rubble with 7-year-old Dallas Hatton, who showed me what remains.
All the windows are busted out, and that was my costume, my Halloween costume.
For such a small community and such a small school, we're always there for everybody.
We just all come together for our people in our community.
Before school was in session, just hours after the tragedy, Eastern Green school staff, parents, and strangers all jumping into action.
The response that we had from the community was overwhelming. Monday it was kind of Grand Central Station, and here people buzzing in, trying to come in and either donate clothes.
So many donations and clothing. Like, it was to the point where we had to turn clothing away.
Left with nothing, the Hatton family is now clothed, supported, and rebuilding. And plus, more than $8,000 has been raised through a GoFundMe page to help the family start again.
I have seen humanity at its best. People be there for my family in ways that I never even thought about. But they made sure that we all got new shoes and clothes on our back and money in my pocket to survive on.
If you would like to extend your own help to the Eastern Green effort, you can find a QR code here at the bottom of the screen, which will take you to a GoFundMe account to directly support the Hatton family. Reporting in Greene County, Jack Bassett, IU News Net. Claire and Kelsey, tossing it back to you.